Alright, hey, Mega here, and so this is my QS165 install video for the Sur Ron light bead. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I want to test to see if the motor works. Alright, so all I'm gonna do is disconnect the controller from the Sur Ron motor in there right now, and then we're going to connect it to the QS motor. Okay, I want to see if it really is compatible, you know, if it has a hall sensor and all that stuff with this motor, and then if it's truly a plug-and-play motor. Alright, so in the previous video I checked to see if the sprockets were compatible with the Sur Ron, and it is. Okay, the belt is compatible, the sprockets are compatible, even the DB Off-Road 219 chain kit looks like it's compatible. Okay, so I'm not worried about that any longer. Okay, the only thing I'm worried about is, does this work? Alright, so what Hades is going to do is we're going to drop the skid plate, take the controller off, take it off a little bit, and then we'll go hook it up to the QS motor, and then we'll fire the bike up and see if it'll go. Okay, and then that'll be the end of this part of the video, and then we'll actually go and then when we get to the next stop, we'll actually go install it. Alright, I will install it with the 420 chain kit. Alright, and then we'll actually see if it runs and how good it installs in my Sur Ron Light BMX. Okay, so this is a 2018 Sur Ron Light BMX. Is one of the first model Sur Ron light beads. Okay, I don't know how different it is compared to like the more modern light beads. Alright, the newer ones, because it's 2022 now. Okay, they changed a little bit, but yeah, let's go ahead and let's do it. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the skid plate so we can get better access to the wiring and all that goods. Okay. My bike has the race spec Sur Ron skid plate, if you guys are wondering. Okay, please excuse how dirty my skid plate is. There's so much mud and stuff. There's mud and then the stuff from the chain lube on there, because mine does have a chain, so I'll have to lube it. Okay, so next we're going to remove this little plastic cowl here. Alright. Just there to kind of keep all the wires in there, make it look pretty. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is remove the phase wires. Freaking A. Well, actually, let me disconnect the battery real quick. That's right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery real quick. Okay, just to be sure there's no power in the system, we're going to turn the bike on. Okay, there we go. I saw this go on for a second and then it turned off. There we go. There's no power in there, so there's no chance of me getting electrocuted. Okay. Okay, so while I'm at this, I'm going to try to tidy up this wire. So the ERT BAC controller came with this little block here that you use to put the wires together. I'm gonna delete that. Alright, I'm gonna delete it. I've had problems with this controller. When it gets wet, it just goes freaking haywire and just wants to go on its own. So what I've done is I put a bunch of electrical tape around this, but we're gonna do away with this whole block. Okay, we need to get to those wires so we can do the thing. Okay, it's free! Alright, there it is. There's the phase wires. We've got, what do we got here? Blue, green, and yellow. And we got blue, green, and yellow. Alright. The green is hiding behind the yellow, but it's there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the ones going to the motor. Okay, remember there are 5 wires going to the controller. There are 3 phase wire leads and 2 power leads, alright? A black and a red. Because you're converting a DC to an AC, guys. 3 phases. It's good to see that these wires are still good. They're nice and intact still. These wires have been through hell. Back. Okay, the motor is now disconnected. Now I gotta go find the hall sensor wire. Okay, so right in here is the hall sensor wire. All right, we gotta go find it. It's in this little balloon here. I have to go remember to put that back. And oh boys, it's so dirty. Okay, this looks like the wire right here. Okay, it's pretty dirty. So I'm gonna go ahead, disconnect that. Okay, and then I'm gonna compare that to the one that's on the QS motor. Quick. Okay, so here is the hall sensor wire, all right, for the or the sensor wire for the QS165, and this is the one for the Sur Ron. I kind of like the one the Sur Ron has this nice wire wrap on it. All right, well, what I can do is just wrap it with more electrical tape, I guess. All right, so there's the 2 wires. All right, as you can see, it's exactly the same. All right, guys, it's got that little, the yellow parts are the same. All right, these yellow parts are the same. The connectors look exactly the same, and they're 6-pin. All right, so that leads me to believe this should fit. All right, this should fit and it should work, I hope. All right, so I'm gonna go hook up all this stuff, and then we'll fire the bike up and we'll see if it runs. All right. Okay, there we go. I got the phase wires in there. By the way, I broke the freaking block, man. I think it's just been so hot, you know. Stuff is cracked and broke. All right, the leads are actually a little too big for this. All right, so what my plan is to delete this block. All right, we're gonna take this whole thing off, and I'm just gonna put a nut and a bolt, and then we're gonna use some shrink wrap around it. All right, that way it'll keep dirt and moisture out better. Okay, I don't know if it's better. I know, because if water gets in there, though, the problem is it may not go out. That's another problem, so hopefully we won't have that problem. All right, anyway, this is the old wires right here. All right, blue to blue, green to green, yellow to yellow. The green one, I could not quite get in there all the way, so that's another reason we got to ditch this block. These, the ring terminals are too thick for this, all right? They're too wide. They're actually bigger than the ones that are on the Sur Ron, all right? So the green one is on there kind of cockeyed a little bit, but I think that should be enough for testing, okay? Okay, last thing to do is connect the hall connector. Okay, as you can see, it connects just fine. All right, and then next thing to do, hook up the battery. Okay, so it didn't like that. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a motor calibration, all right? I'm here in the motor settings of the NXT display. Okay, it seems to be kind of working, but we're going to go to motor calibration. All right, since we got a new motor in there, we got to calibrate it. I've got my foot on it. Hopefully that's enough to keep it from moving. All right, and hopefully it won't mess my foot up. I'm going to hit moving, and it's going to start moving. All right. There it is. It's moving. Okay, it says it's testing. Okay, it says moving test pass, motor successfully mapped. Press the save button. All right, this is a Electric Race Technologies BAC 4000. All right, guys, with the NXT display. That's what that is. Okay, and then let's see if it works now. There we go. It works. All right, I'm giving a little throttle. Yeah. All right. All right, let's see if the regen works. I'm gonna spin it up pretty fast, and then I'm gonna hit the regen button. Oh, there we go. Wow, it went the other direction. Okay, that's good. So the test pass. So yeah. All right, he's Mega here, and we just tested the motor, and it actually works. All right. Oh, you don't know how you know. So I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of gambling whether it was gonna work or not. All right. There's very little information on the internet and YouTube about this motor, all right? All I know is it's plug and play if it's the Hall version, all right? And this is the Hall version, all right? So I didn't know if it's gonna work or not, and it just did, and I'm so happy, all right? I did have to do the calibration, the motor calibration for the NXT display to get it to work, all right? It didn't like this, I guess the Sur Ron motor must have been a little bit different than this, all right? Maybe the Sur Ron motors have changed throughout the years. Like I said, this is a Sur Ron Lightbee MX, all right? This is the very first Sur Rons that came out, all right? So the motors may have changed over time is what I want to say, but for the most part, all I know is that, you know, when you, all the Sur Ron parts should be interchangeable, you know? You should be able to slap another controller in it, because this used to have an X controller, okay? This is one of the bikes that did not come with the X controller, all right? But it came with one, all right? As you can see, it works. I'll get on it very slightly. Whoa. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, boy, there it is. So it works, all right. Man, I got on it and it just took off. Okay, so so this is what I've done so far today, all right, and they're going to be separate videos, all right. The first thing I did was verify that the Sur Ron belt works, okay. The second thing I did is to make sure the pulleys are interchangeable on the QS motor, all right, and the Sur Ron motors, all right, and they are, all right. The pulley's slightly different; it's a little heavier, all right. I also verified that the DB off-road sprockets do work on this, okay. And then I hooked it up to the bike. All right, I disconnected the controller from the Sur Ron motor, and I disconnected the Hall sensor connector, and then I just connected it to the QS motor, and it actually didn't work at first. Okay, so I had to go into the NXT display and the motor options, and then go to the motor calibration for it to work. Okay. So those of you with other brand of ASI controllers or whatever controllers, I don't know, you know, how it's going to work for you guys, but that's how I got mine to work. All right, I had to do the calibration. I do know if you have access to the backdoor app for the ASI controller, you can. There's a way you could do a like auto tuning or something. All right, so that's basically what we just did. We did like auto tune and like does all the tests and stuff, and it makes sure all the you know, the settings are correct for the motor. And then it programs it into the ASI controller, right? And so that is one of the features of the Electric Race Technologies controller. Right? All I have to say is, way to go, Alan! This stuff works. Okay, I plugged in a different motor to it, and I hit calibrate, and then it ran. Right? It didn't run before. Okay, so yeah, the Electric Race Technologies stuff actually works pretty good, guys. Yeah, so there it is. It works. It works with the ART BAC 4000 controller setup, all right, with the NXT display. All right. So what's the next step? The next step is to install it in the bike. Okay. So that's what Hades Omega will be doing. I'm gonna remove the stock Sur Ron motor, and we're gonna install this in there, and then you guys will see. So thus far, we've seen that like the drivetrain is compatible. The drivetrain is compatible, and the motor works with the ASI controller on a Sur Ron. Okay. With the Electric Race Technologies ASI controller, all right, and then now we're going to find out how well it installs into the bike, all right. I can already tell you that the motor leads, the ring terminals are a little bit bigger than the Sur Ron ones. All right, they didn't quite fit in there, so Hades Omega is going to have to. My plan was to just do away with that block. All right, that connects the two wires together. Okay, and I was just going to put a piece of shrink tubing around everything to insulate it. All right. What I might do is, well, anyway, in the next video you'll find that out. All right. But my plan is to use a bolt, a nut, slather a bunch of dielectric grease all over everything, so stuff doesn't get in there and contaminate the terminals, and then put a piece of shrink tubing on over it all. All right, and that way it'll be insulated. I'm having a problem with this bike. When it gets wet, it gets freaking crazy, all right? And when I have the Sur Ron controller on there, it didn't have that problem. So Hades Omega is going to try to fix this problem, all right? Because sometimes I do water crossing, sometimes I wash my bike, sometimes I might ride in the rain, and I don't want my bike going all haywire and stuff when that happens, all right? And that's a problem with this bike, okay? It's costed me a race before, all right? That's what I'm saying. Okay, anyway, so that's the QS165 motor test on the Sur Ron, right? It works. Now we're going to actually install it on the bike, okay? Thanks for watching. Thanks, Omega.